Good.
Good evening, everyone. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will have our land acknowledgement by Board Member Bowen.
Buffalo City School District respectfully acknowledges the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, on whose ancestral territory our schools were built. We honor and pay tribute to the indigenous ancestors of the land we use. We acknowledge the historic, intergenerational traumas they have endured and offer hope and opportunities for healing and reconciliation as we go forward together. One key Haudenosaunee principle is to live in peace and harmony with each other and the natural world. All life should be respected and cared for because what happens to one living thing affects all living things. We are grateful for the abundant natural resources in this land of the Haudenosaunee people, for all who work to protect these resources. We acknowledge the Haudenosaunee people as the past, present, and future caretakers of this land and water. And we are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and educate our children on this ancestral land.
Thank you, Board Member Bowen. Our board guardrails will be read by Board Member Hawkins.
As the Buffalo Board of Education has committed to becoming a board focused on improving student outcomes, we recognize that our adult behaviors must change to uphold this commitment. As we have given the superintendent specific guardrails that protect the values of our community, we understand the need to establish guardrails for our behavior as a board. The board shall operate within the board's role as identified in board policy number 1110 and 1310, and the board's current operating procedure specifically as defined in board policy number 1311 and number 6110. The board, either collectively or through the actions of individual board members, guardrail number 1, shall not invest less than 50% of its minutes each month to monitoring student outcome goals. Guardrail number 2, shall not perform or appear to perform any of the responsibilities delegated to the superintendent. Guardrail number 3, shall not violate any board adopted policy or district procedure. Guardrail number 4, shall not behave in a manner that would violate the student code of conduct.
Thank you, Board Member Hawkins. So at this time, we have Jill Hawkins, who will present to us. She was our lead investigator for the special investigation that the board hired back in June, and she's prepared to give a statement on that report.
Thank you, Madam President, to the board, the community. My name is Jill Yonkers, and along with my colleague Luke Major, we're here from Fallsgraf. As the president indicated, our firm was hired as the special independent investigator to look into allegations made into an April 2025 podcast and later podcasts related to allegations of impropriety. This evening, the Board of Education received a lengthy report over 100 pages with recommendations. The board is committed to reviewing this document and disclosing the pieces of the report that it can disclose to the public within 30 days. Because this is a matter of safety and because students are of paramount importance to the board, by law and otherwise, there are pieces of this report that cannot be disclosed. They are working through that process and they will be committed to that over the next 30 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yonkers. So board recognitions, I'm going to take this opportunity to recognize, before that, So the board held an executive session to discuss, number one, a proposed settlement of pending litigation, Morales as P&G for AR versus BBOE et al., with New York State Supreme Court Index Number 804549, 2024. See, Bill. Number two, matters related to the employment history and potential discipline and/or dismissal of a specific district employee. And number three, for the purposes of receiving legal advice. Official action was taken pursuant to New York State Education Law Section 3020A. So Happy New Year, everyone. This is 2026.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's a new day in the city of Buffalo and this district. I'm excited because we have 4 new board members and 2 re-elected board members as follows. The Honorable Talia Rodriguez, representing the West District. The Honorable Lewis, aka Mookie Hawkins, representing the Central District. The Honorable Stefan Wright, representing the Ferry District. The Honorable Eric Bowen, representing the South District. And re-elected to her seat for a second term is the Honorable Cindy McCutcheon, representing North District. And the Honorable Kathy Evans Brown, representing the East District. And re-elected to her 3rd term. So we have 2 new first-time vice presidents. The Honorable Janita Everhart, at-large school board member, vice president of executive affairs. She's a graduate of BPS. She holds a master's degree, a mother of a daughter enrolled in BPS, and she has many years of leadership and change management experience, a diamond in the rough. The Honorable Adriana Zulich, an at-large board member, vice president of student achievement. She holds a law degree. She's a stay-at-home mom of 2 daughters and a son who are enrolled in BPS. We have a new finance and operations chair, the Honorable Talia Rodriguez. She's a practicing attorney, mother of an 8-year-old son. She believes in advocacy on behalf of equity and the betterment of children. And she will also chair a committee to review the bilingual education, particularly on Buffalo's West Side. We have a new educational support chair, the Honorable Lewis A.K. Mookie Hawkins. He has 30 years of experience. He don't even look 30. In marketing, sports, sales. He's a staunch supporter of athletics of all kinds. And he believes the importance for equity and opportunity for students to compete at high levels, including for Division I scholarships. Our new superintendent, you know him, Dr. Pascal Mubenga. He's in his 4th month. And then we have a new mayor of the city, the Honorable Sean Ryan. And I want to thank my board colleagues for believing in me and reappointing me as the president of the school board for 2026. Contrary to naysayers who quote, they will sit, watch, and let it burn and crash, we believe in our district of experts, including you, administrators, teachers, staff, aides, ancillary staff, clerks, food service, and on and on and on. Student outcomes will not change until adult behaviors change. Moreover, Our young, vibrant, and smart board members have a lot of energy and will take on various tasks and committee assignments such as school safety, bilingual education, athletics, and ways to increase recruitment efforts and attendance improvement to assist our superintendent with student success. All of these boards, committees that I mentioned are in line with the vision of the community. Lastly, no one person can do this work alone. We need you. Dr. Mabenga has an aggressive agenda to take this district into the next chapter. That includes a stakeholder roster of over 75 individuals from various arenas with the best and brightest minds across Western New York who will be involved with his planned vision for this district, so stay tuned. So with that said, it is time for speakers. At this time, the board welcomes speakers who have signed up to speak at tonight's meetings. Please be reminded that all speakers' remarks must be limited to 3 minutes or less. We ask that speakers be mindful that this is a business meeting open to the public and televised locally. Attendees and viewers include persons from throughout Western New York, including children. The board asks that speakers conduct themselves professionally and that their comments remain civil and courteous, bearing in mind that they will be heard by people of all ages. If you have printed information to share with us, please do not approach the board table. Provide your information to the district clerk, who will make sure we receive it. This is an opportunity for Buffalo's residents to address the Buffalo Board of Education about issues that serve the public interest and district mission. And the board asks that speakers demonstrate appropriate decorum. I will ask my vice presidents to help with the this section.
So first we have Lakita Boyette, a parent, regarding safety classes for teachers and students. You can just come right up here. Okay. Miss Lakita, the microphone is over here, so if you can project a little.
No problem.
Thank you.
That's, I hope there's enough, it's an 11 folder.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening to President Mabenga, members of the Buffalo Public School Board, Superintendent, and distinguished guests. My name is Lakita Boyette. At the last Town Hall Community Meeting, I had the opportunity to hear President Mabenga speak directly to community members. One statement in particular resonated deeply with me. You shared that you did not want people to come to you with just complaints, but with solutions. So today, I am here to do exactly that. To propose a solution to a critical concern surrounding safety, preparedness, and wellness within Buffalo Public Schools. I respectfully request your approval for the implementation and potential future mandate of adult and child first aid, CPR, and AED training alongside adult, youth, and teen mental health courses for the Buffalo Public Schools, staff, students, and the broader school community. I bring over 30 years of experience in early childhood education and entrepreneurship, more than 15 years in home health care, and several years as a certified American Red Cross and Health and Safety Institute instructor. Throughout my work with Western New York Caregivers Training Company, I have seen firsthand how preparedness saves lives and strengthens confidence during critical moments. While it is essential that educators and staff are fully prepared to respond to emergencies, it is equally as important that students gain access to these life-saving and mental health skills early. First aid, CPR, AED awareness, and mental health literacy are lifelong skills that students carry into adulthood, into their families, workplaces, and communities. Teaching these skills in schools helps develop calm, responsible, and compassionate leaders for the future. One important factor I would like to highlight is the gap in the current policy. In New York State, and under the Office of Children and Family Services, child care providers are mandated to maintain adult and child first aid, CPR, and AED certification. Yet, this same requirement is not mandated for Buffalo Public or charter schools, even though they serve children of the same ages, often for longer periods each day. This inconsistency presents an opportunity for Buffalo Public Schools to lead by example and exceed minimum standards for student safety. I am a proud partner with Cambria Daniels, who brings extensive experience delivering adult, youth, and mental health and teen mental health courses. She also serves as a board chair for NAMI Buffalo in Western New York, promoting trauma-informed, evidence-based mental health education and community awareness. Together, we will ensure instruction is developmentally appropriate, culturally responsive, and aligned with district needs. Western New York Caregiver Training Company has successfully contracted with organizations such as Buffalo Prep, the Buffalo Urban League, and the Child Care Professional Development Institute, and numerous group and family child care centers throughout Western New York, demonstrating our capacity to deliver high-quality training across diverse settings. Continue?
You can kind of wrap it up.
Oh, thank you. This comprehensive initiative supports safe and healthy learning environments, provides nationally recognized safety certifications, and strengthens staff and student confidence in managing both physical and emotional emergencies. Most importantly, it positions Buffalo Public Schools as a district that exceeds baseline expectations, advancing strategic goals related to whole child development, equity and access, student achievement, professional excellence, and family and community engagement. In closing, this proposal reflects the call to action issued at the town hall meeting, moving beyond concerns and toward solutions. This is an investment in preparedness, wellness, and lifelong learning. I respectfully ask for your support in approving this initiative and continuing to lead with foresight and care. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is Mary Pope, a teacher, regarding district-wide emails sent out.
Good evening. Thank you so much to the board and the superintendent for allowing me to speak this evening. Many faces I know before. My name is Mary Pope. I'm actually now an assistant principal here in the district at School 74. Tonight I am here to propose an idea for your consideration that will support the mental health here in BPS, in addition to honoring those we hold most dear. Currently, we are receiving district-wide email notifications when there is a passing of a BPS employee, past employee, as well as current employees' loved ones. For some, these notifications cause a deep sadness during the workday, bringing forth memories of our own loss. Though we do invoke compassion for our colleagues and appreciate the notification, this evening I propose for your consideration a memorial page on our BPS website dedicated to the celebration of these lives we hold most dear. By creating a page to honor and acknowledge the loss within our own BPS community, but at our own chosen time, instead of an email notification at any time during the day. This creates a safe mental place to foster connection for our fellow colleagues, and also supports the guiding healing that may be needed. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Next, we have Nicholas Chambert, parent, regarding possible closure of School 90. Oh, sorry. Nicholas, one moment, please.
Yep.
You're number 4. We have Marcia Phillips, teacher, regarding district schools. Sorry about that, Nicholas. Thanks. No Marcia? Okay, Nicholas.
Hello everyone, board, Superintendent Mubenga, President. Thanks for giving me a moment to speak. Community members, everyone. Originally, this was planned to perhaps be a little bit more forward because the closure of 2 schools had been leaked to the press and it was nerve-wracking. I currently have a very young child. He's 4 years old. Ezra, he's a student at School 90, which was one of the schools that was listed as a potential closure. In the time since I originally scheduled to speak here, thankfully a pause has been put on that. I'm sure there's still consideration moving forward, which is why I wanted to speak to you briefly today, just so that perhaps down the road the seeds would be planted. In my particular case, Ezra was born, he's adopted. He was born with NAS, which is his mother was on a opiate withdrawal medication, and he has NAS syndrome, which increases the likelihood of some rather minor things such as ADHD and some behavioral issues. And we almost immediately had some issues with him in daycare when he was 2 years old. He was actually pulled out of daycare and we were left in a pretty rough situation. And luckily, School 90 came to the rescue. His teacher, Ms. Kitka, preschool, took him in, and the progress has been remarkable. I can't really imagine what outcome there would have been other than putting him into some specialized situation. The care they've given has been remarkable, and my overarching point is just that School 90, though very small, and enrollment numbers very low. School 3, larger, but perhaps with some attendance issues, but again, specializing in English as a second language on the city's west side. These schools, though they're small and perhaps are the lowest hanging fruit when we look to make fiscal decisions, are linchpins in their individual communities, and looking at them just statistically rather than what they mean to their communities, to the children that go there, whether they're receiving specialized care, English as a second language, specific instruction. They're very important to their communities. They provide an anchor to those communities and allow parent engagement and to be part of these kids' lives. And when we fragment those communities and fragment those schools, I think it can be very harmful to the students. And just as you move forward with any fiscal decisions, I hope that that is part of the decision-making process. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Camu Fields, concerned citizen regarding better.
He's not here.
Okay.
Then we have Jamie Polini, a teacher, regarding SSTs.
I'm actually a social worker.
Oh, sorry.
Good evening, Superintendent Mubanga, members of the board, and district leaders. I am one of the co-chairs of the district social workers, and today I come before you, united with our district counselors and psychologists, to advocate for the protection of all our district positions so that our students continue to receive the needed mental health, behavioral, and social emotional support that we provide. While we're no longer experiencing a pandemic, the needs of our children have not changed. Here are some of the stats from September's 2025 Children in the U.S. Mental Health Fact Sheet. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for children ages 10 through 14. 26% of children have one or more mental, emotional, developmental, or behavioral conditions. Black and Hispanic children have disproportionately low levels of receiving mental health treatment. socioeconomically disadvantaged children are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop mental health conditions than their peers. Studies show that when children and adolescents receive appropriate care early, including school-based services, they are more likely to stay engaged in school, build strong relationships, and avoid behaviors like substance abuse and self-harm. Each of our SST positions, the social workers, counselors, and psychologists, all have unique, specialized, as well as complementary roles that work in concert with each other to provide critical needed services to our students. Additionally, our presence in the schools alleviates stress on our administrators, teachers, resource officers, and reduces student suspensions. We work as a team and we need each other. Here's a recent example from my school. Upon returning from winter break, a special ed student entered his classroom very distressed. A family member had passed away and he was struggling, making statements in his class that he wanted to end his life. His teacher reported this to our SST. In my office, he was very emotionally dysregulated. He grabbed a chair above his head, throwing it down, attempting to grab scissors to harm himself. The second social worker came to my room to assist. When this student ran out of the room, our school counselor with the resource officer assisted and was able to get him back into my room. We tag teamed to complete a legality assessment, contact the crisis team, collaborate with a parent who did not have access to a vehicle, problem solve with the parent to have the student assessed at his home, which the parent preferred, conference with administration, collaborated with Spectrum Cares to provide our assessment and later learn the outcomes of their assessments and safety training. We obtained consent so that we could collaborate with his mental health counselor. 2 days later, the student escalated again. With the psychologist and the social worker, we began the process of a special ed reevaluation to add in-school counseling to his IEP. Helping students is a team effort. Without the student support team, we cannot meet the needs of our vulnerable students. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Maureen McNamara, UTEG, school counselor regarding SST roles in the building. I'm sorry for mistaking your name. McNamara, thank you.
Good morning, good evening. I'm here tonight to speak about the importance of staffing our student support teams equitably. Student support teams made up of school counselors, social workers, and psychologists play critical and distinct roles in keeping students safe, supported, and ready to learn. Our effectiveness comes from collaboration. When all roles are present and working together, students receive the support that they need. Our students deserve access to this level of support in every building. All of us are here tonight because the needs we are seeing in our schools can no longer be met by the current budgeting system. The budgeting system that determines the number of student support team members is inherently flawed. Building-based budgets create inequities across the district by leaving staffing decisions to individual schools, which means student access to support depends on where they attend school. Under the current model, principals are able to reallocate or eliminate student support positions. As a result, counselor positions may be cut to add a social worker or vice versa. And in some cases, positions are eliminated altogether. Regardless of the intent, the outcome is the same. Students are losing critical support. Our jobs are not interchangeable, and removing one role weakens the entire student support team. Superintendent Lubanga, you have said that we should be a school system, not a system of schools. We all share that vision, which is why we're here tonight. Achieving it means ensuring student support staffing is equitable, consistent, and based on student need across the district. Research shows that schools with adequate mental health staffing see stronger academic outcomes, fewer behavioral concerns, improved attendance, and fewer crises because students receive support before issues escalate. Mental health support should not be treated as optional. We would never approach physical health staffing this way. For example, my husband is a physical education teacher in this district. PE staffing is based on the number of students enrolled in the schools. Why aren't the student support teams done the same way? Staffing our SST teams should also be based on student enrollment, just like physical education teachers, but also taking into consideration the specific needs of each school. For example, the special education numbers or high need populations. Currently, we have schools with large enrollments that have the same or fewer student support team members than schools with much smaller enrollments. While some principals prioritize student support staffing, too many schools simply do not have enough staff to meet students' needs. Tonight, we are asking Superintendent Mubanga and members of the board to please act urgently and change our school-based budgeting process. Students should not receive different levels of student support, FSP staff. Students should not receive different levels of support based on the building that they attend. Every child in this district deserves the same level of care, safety, and support, and they deserve it now.
Next is April Tapper, teacher, regarding SST roles in the building.
Thank you for allowing me to speak for a few minutes tonight. My name is April Tapper. I am a school psychologist in the district and a district SST co-chair representing the school psychologist. In October of this school year, I entered my school and immediately learned that one of our students had died. I texted the rest of our student support team, then called our district crisis team. I had to hand the phone off to our counselor because then I had to shift gears, facilitating a bilingual evaluation team and assessing a child who could not walk or talk and who had never been to school. While our school counselors and school social workers quickly assisted in checking in on the needs of the school, they also began planning for what would be needed for the day to best support the students and staff dealing with the loss. Between special education meetings, I checked in with them throughout the day, and we planned how to move forward. This is just one day. Every day the needs look different, but almost every day they can be equally demanding. Student support teams are a unique package of highly trained mental health professionals. While we all have our own unique roles and responsibilities, we work together to coordinate our efforts to complete a wide range of shared tasks. If students are struggling, a teacher brings it to our attention and one of our team members determines who can step away to address the student's needs. The needs can range from needing clean clothes to seeing if a student needs a suicide risk assessment. Sometimes the suicide risk assessment shows that a student is struggling significantly and they need to go to the hospital. Assisting with finding clothes can take 5 minutes. The other can take half the day. And if for some reason the parent can't take the child to the hospital, tack on a few more hours because the ambulance may be called and one of our team members is going with the child. We don't leave our students alone to tackle big issues. On a different day, perhaps a restorative circle is needed because a student said something about another student on social media, and now it's carried over into the school day, disrupting the classroom and potentially leading to a fight. Do we want those kids to go home? No. We want them to stay. We want them to assist them with working it out so that they can return to class and get back to learning. Our students are facing barriers that negatively impact their lives, whether it be unstable housing, limited access to food, unsafe circumstances within the families, or just a culmination of stressors. The problems won't just end with one meeting of a member of our student support team. Their needs and subsequently their successes are dependent on ongoing social, emotional, mental health, and behavioral support provided by our school psychologists, school counselors, and school social workers. These same barriers are keeping our students from school. With an average daily attendance rate for the district of 82.73%, the district cannot afford to lose the support provided by student support teams. Our consistent efforts to coordinate community and district services, provide high-quality mental health support, and teach critical social and emotional skills provides our students the opportunity to achieve higher than ever before. Thank you.
Next, we have Cassia Williams, concerned citizen and parent, regarding possible closure of School 90.
Right here.
All right. Then we have Samantha Andrews, school psychologist, regarding SST roles in the building.
Good evening, board leaders. My name is Samantha Andrews, and I'm a co-chair of the psychology department. I also work at School 6. We often talk about students accessing rigorous curriculum, updated technology, and high academic standards. But we often forget that a student can't access the curriculum if they're struggling with challenges outside of the classroom, be it a lack of academic confidence, emotional distress, or social-emotional hurdles. In order to truly educate the whole child, we must implement equal, high-quality student support teams, or SSTs, across our entire school district. And I don't mean giving every single student the exact same intervention. I mean ensuring that every student, regardless of their zip code, school, or background, has access to the same high-level comprehensive support team. Research from the Institute of Education Sciences shows that proactive student support teams, comprised of psychologists, counselors, and social workers, are proven to increase academic achievement and reduce behavioral disruptions. Yet, our teams are frequently underfunded or vary widely in quality from one building to another. When we fail to provide equal support, we create pockets of success rather than a system of success. Here are 3 points demonstrating the benefits of fully staffed SSTs in all buildings. First, equal support teams drive better academic outcomes. Data confirms that when schools implement consistent student support, it can improve academic achievement by as much as 20%. Targeted, timely interventions help students close the achievement gap, particularly for those from disadvantaged backgrounds. Second, a standardized, robust support team structure ensures that no student falls through the cracks. These teams aren't just for crisis management, they are for prevention. They identify early warning signs in behavior, attendance, and academic performance, providing a safety net that is consistent across all schools. Third, we need to treat mental health as a part of academic health. Post-pandemic, our students are facing immense social emotional challenges. A strong, equitable support team leads to higher student resilience and reduced anxiety. A school without a strong, readily available support team is in 2026 an under-equipped school. Some buildings are utilizing significant funds to hire outside organizations to assist in our schools. However, these organizations provide the same services and interventions that the district SSTs are capable of. So why are we cutting critical support positions just to spend an exorbitant amount more on the same services from individuals who may not even hold the same level of credential as is required of district employees? In closing, we must stop viewing student support services as a nice-to-have luxury and recognize them as a fundamental civil right to education. Every student deserves to walk into a school where a dedicated professional team is prepared to help them overcome obstacles and reach their full potential. Thank you.
Next, we have Anna Clayman, guidance regarding SST roles.
Esteemed decision makers, beloved BPS family. As I read the superintendent's possible solutions for balancing the 26-27 budget, I felt a surge of alarm at the suggestion of returning to pre-COVID staffing levels. Before any decisions of specific cuts takes place, I feel compelled to warn the superintendent and the board. Eliminating SST positions of swapping one student support role for another in the name of balancing the budget is far from a neutral financial decision. It's a dangerous one. We are in the middle of an adolescent mental health crisis. And even with current staffing numbers, there are not enough SST members to meet student needs. BPS school counselors, social workers, and psychologists are already carrying overwhelming caseloads. Many crises are already triaged instead of addressed. And instead of asking how to close this gap, can we consider widening it? Even before COVID, SST ratios were too high. Even before COVID, students were falling through the cracks. COVID did not just expose the problem, it poured gasoline on it. Our students lost caregivers, stability, and critical years of social development. Many are still living with grief, housing insecurity, food insecurity, not to mention the current geopolitical reality. Acting like 2019 SST staffing is enough in 2026 is not responsible leadership. It is willful denial. SST members are not extras. They're not expendable. They're the lifelines of support in our schools. They're the ones identifying suicidal ideation, intervening in crises, supporting attendance, preventing dropouts, and connecting families to resources. And right now, they are stretched impossibly thin. When the student support team members are overwhelmed, students don't magically need less support. They get missed. Warning signs go unnoticed. Struggling students are disciplined instead of supported. Teachers are asked to observe trauma they're not trained to handle. And some students, far too many, simply disappear from our systems altogether. Let's talk about equity. After all, BPS centers its mission on one voice, one mission, one vision. We all know that cutting SST positions will fall hardest on students who already carry the greatest burden. Students living in poverty, students with disabilities, and students navigating chronic trauma. If we claim to value equity while reducing counseling access, those words ring hollow. You cannot claim to prioritize student achievement while dismantling the systems that make learning possible. A student in crisis cannot focus on academics. A child in survival mode cannot succeed in the classroom. The SST support is not a side issue. It's a fundamental right. Balancing a budget by cutting SST means higher dropout rates, more crises, more emergency interventions, and deeper long-term costs. The price does not disappear. It is paid later, and it's paid by our students. So I urge you, do not balance the budget on the backs of children who are already struggling. Cutting any SST positions in 2026 in the middle of a mental health crisis is like turning off the lighthouse in a storm and calling it fiscal responsibility. Thank you.
Rebecca McDaniel, teacher, SSTs, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rebecca McDaniel, and I am a school counselor at Early Childhood Center 90. Recently, my school was facing closure. When the board chose to keep ECC 90 open, it brought a tremendous sense of relief to our students, families, and staff. We felt hope and stability return, but that relief was short-lived for me. With the announced plans to potentially return to pre-COVID staffing levels, I need to be very clear. Our students are not living in a pre-COVID world. The challenges they face today are heavier, more complex, and more urgent than ever before. In elementary schools, full-time counselors are not a luxury. We are essential. We help children develop emotional regulation, coping skills, and social problem solving at the very foundation of their education. We identify concerns early, before they turn into crisis. We support students through trauma, anxiety, grief, and behavioral challenges, and we partner with families who may not know where else to turn. When counselors are not full-time, students lose consistency. They lose trusted relationships. Young children need to see the same caring adult every day to feel safe enough to open up. Without that stability, critical needs are missed, and the impact can last for a lifetime. Every day at ECC 90, I work with children who are struggling emotionally, families who are overwhelmed, and teachers who are balancing academic demands with increasing social emotional needs. These are not extras. This work is foundational to student success. As a counselor near the bottom of the seniority list, I now face the possibility of not being there for my students next year. These children rely on consistency and trust. For many of them, I am the first adult they tell when something feels wrong. The thought of not being there for them, not because the need is gone, but because the position is gone, is heartbreaking. We are in the midst of a mental health crisis. Cutting full-time counseling positions, or social worker or psychologist positions, sends the message that prevention, early intervention, and emotional safety are optional. They are not. The cost of these decisions will be carried by our youngest and most vulnerable students. Our children deserve more than survival. They deserve care, stability, and advocacy. Funding should never come before the well-being of our kids. Please allow me to continue showing up for the children of ECC 90, the children who trust me, rely on me, and deserve to know that the adults who support them will still be there tomorrow. The most important thing I want to leave you with is this. Our students need us, our families need us, and now more than ever, Buffalo Public Schools needs its counselors, social workers, and psychologists. Thank you so much for your time and listening.
Anna Vaughn, teacher, regarding SST.
shine a spotlight on the value of SST. While each building has their unique needs, I can attest at least to the value in my building. Counselors provide programming to their buildings through classroom lessons, group counseling, individual counseling, and building-wide as well. At Sedita, this looks like lunch groups, conflict resolutions, classroom restorative circles, a building-wide career day, guest speaker events, individual check-ins, high school applications with every 8th grader, cumulative reviews with every 6th, 7th, and 8th grader, coordinating community services, tracking referrals to outside services, push in on classroom lessons from everything from college and career to digital media safety, basic hygiene, friendship, just to name a few. Beyond the responsibilities of my official job description, I am also part of our Moving Up Day to help oversee graduation. I advise our National Junior Honor Society, which didn't exist until I started working there. And that includes extensive efforts for fundraising outside of school hours. I have students here with me because of that. And on top of that as well, we are Everything Infinite Campus and IT for our building. On top of that, we carry walkie-talkies for crisis response at any moment. And that's a lot. That's for all of our SSD. That's not just me. That's the counselors, the psychologists, the social worker, our behavior specialist. All that said, on our daily basis, this can look like going to a crisis call in a kindergarten classroom to going to a planning meeting, but then having to leave that planning meeting early to respond to a crisis call in a 7th grade classroom. And then on your way back, you stop and see a 4th grader crying in the hallway, and you address them, and you deal with them. And then by the time you get back, the meeting's over. And then as soon as the meeting's over, you have a 5th grade counseling group, and then you have another individual check-in. And this could all be before lunchtime, if you get a lunch. So, and I want to note on that too, since my school added a 2nd counselor for my position, I have collected a lot of data for my building, and I have copies if you want to see it afterward, but this includes, since adding a 2nd counselor, our rates of students being placed in CTE and criteria programs for high school have increased every year. Our Ed Climate Survey reflects staff feeling more supported with emotional behavioral issues, and it reflects students believing their feelings are important. The YRBS has reflected an increase of students planning to go to college, as well as a decrease of students reporting bullying and suicidality, just in the 4 years that I've been added to my building. And this is all, again, how we have functioned as a considerably well-staffed SST team for the district. The American School Counselor Association nationally has recommended a caseload for counselors of 250 to 1. And that's been since 1965. My building's at 300 to 1, and we are only one of less than 10 schools to have more than 1 counselor in the district. Now, I'm gonna skip a couple things in here, but just to add, I'm in that position as well where I'm low on the seniority list. And of course, selfishly, I'm here to advocate for my job because I love it and I wanna keep doing it. But I'm also here advocating because even if it isn't me in the office come September, my students and teachers deserve to have an SST that is staffed appropriately to meet their needs.
Thank you.
Christine Pullen, teacher, welcome to the board in special education.
Good evening, honorable board members and honorable Dr. Mubanga. I just wanted to welcome our new board members and let you know we are looking forward to many positive outcomes in working with you. As many of you know, our special education classrooms are in dire need for significant change. Many of these needs have already been discussed in great detail during previous board meetings. At this time, I want to thank Dr. Mubanga as well as Ann Botticelli for your immediate response and for listening to us and for initiating immediate responses to our struggles. Meetings have occurred, there are meetings scheduled, and we've arranged a special education team of teachers who are anxious to work with you and our department to get these critical changes to happen. They must happen. We recognize that change takes time, but we are here for it. We all have work to do, and we are looking forward to seeing our neediest students make progress again in our special ed classrooms. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Emily Marco, special education.
Good evening. I would like to begin by welcoming our new board members. Thank you for your commitment to our district. We are super optimistic about the positive impact this board can make on our exceptional learners. Over the past few months, we've been meeting with district officials to discuss meaningful improvements for our autism programming. While some promising steps have been made, it is very clear that significant changes still need to happen. Students with autism bring a remarkable zest for learning, often in beautifully unique ways. Every day, I witness their curiosity and joy, but I also see the gaps in places in our current systems that are not fully meeting their needs. Across our work, we have identified 4 critical areas requiring immediate attention: safety, placement and programming, communication, and family support. Safety. Our staff needs comprehensive training in a person-centered, trauma-informed program grounded in research and evidence-based practices for preventing crises in a school setting. When staff members feel confident and prepared, safety is strengthened, not only physical safety, but also emotional safety. Prioritizing prevention preserves dignity, fosters trust, and allows our students to learn in environments where they feel understood. Placement and programming. Several years ago, the district reduced staffing in our autism classrooms from 4 adults to 2 adults for every 8 students. This shift has resulted in chaotic and under-supported classrooms. Restoring 8-1-3 ratios is not just a staffing decision, it's an essential step towards creating learning environments where students can truly thrive. Adequate staffing allows classrooms to function more independently, reduces the strain on our SST teams, and ensures that students receive the level of support that they deserve. Communication. Students with autism may communicate in many different ways, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. We have an ethical responsibility to every student to ensure that they have access to effective modes of communication, whether that be text systems, augmentative devices, sign language, or other evidence-based research tools. Communication is not optional, it is foundational, and it is a human right. When we prioritize communication, we open the doors to connection and autonomy. Family empowerment. Families should not have to navigate these systems, services, and evaluations alone. They need guidance and partnership from us. By strengthening community-based programming through our Saturday academies, we can empower families to be informed, confident advocates for their own children. Building this network of support will help cultivate a connected, resource-rich autism community right here in Buffalo. And while inclusion matters deeply, inclusion alone is not enough. We must prioritize dignity, safety, and access. Our goal is not simply to place students in classrooms. Our goal is to create an autism program where students are not just included, but are genuinely thriving and learning. Thank you.
Next, we have Lauren Caulfield about SSTs. And not to put you on the spot, but in my purse, I have your little trifold. My daughters love her. Thank you.
Members of the Buffalo Board of Education, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to urge you strongly and respectfully to not cut any more school counselor positions. While budgets are tightening, the needs of our students are not. In fact, they're growing. COVID money may have run out, but COVID social emotional impacts are still alive and well. On top of the current world social impacts, our students are carrying anxiety, grief, trauma, learning gaps, and behavioral challenges that did not disappear when emergency funding ended. School counselors are not an extra. We are a critical support system that helps students show up ready to learn. When a student is dysregulated, hungry, grieving, or overwhelmed, they cannot focus on academics. Counselors and student support team members are often the first adults helping students navigate these challenges so teachers can teach and classrooms can function. Counselors are also one of the few positions whose caseload encompasses the entire student body. In Buffalo, our counselors are already carrying caseloads far above recommended ratios. Currently, I am split between 2 early education schools, both with a student-to-counselor ratio of 400 to 1. The suggested ASCA standard is 250 to 1. Cutting positions would mean fewer check-ins, longer wait times for support, and more crises going unaddressed. It would mean students falling through the cracks, not because they don't want or need help, but because no one is available to give it. Counselors do more than crisis response. We support attendance, behavior, academic success, family engagement, mental wellness, and more. We teach important life skills like conflict resolution, coping skills, friendship skills, and executive functioning. We connect families to food, housing, and community resources. We help prevent small problems from becoming large emergencies. When counselor positions are cut, those responsibilities do not disappear. They get pushed onto teachers and administrators who are already stretched far too thin. If we truly want to improve graduation rates, reduce disciplinary incidents, and increase attendance, create safe, supportive schools, the solution is not fewer counselors, it is more. I ask the board to consider the long-term effects of these decisions. Cutting counselor positions may balance a spreadsheet today, but it will cost our students far more tomorrow. Please choose prevention over crisis, support over silence, investment in our students over cuts. Our students are telling us that they need us daily. Let's make sure we are there to answer them. I also want to say that myself and likely any of the counselors behind me would welcome any board member or cabinet member in to see what we do on a day-to-day. I'm sure social workers and psychologists also would. Witness a day-to-day, learn what we do, and learn how our roles are different. Thank you.
Cameron Wood, parent liaison regarding renaming of School 53.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me. I am Cameron Wood. I'm the communications coordinator at the Buffalo History Museum, where we welcome the Buffalo public school students to come explore our exhibits and explore the Western New York history. But of course, I stand before you not only as a proud alum of Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts, but a proud son of the Maston District, where Public School 53 is. And I'm here to speak on that behalf. It honors my great-grandmother, Nan Wood, and it's a long overdue recognition for a woman whose legacy transformed generations. It's especially meaningful being here tonight. Many years ago, Board Member Wright and we walked these hallways in the summer youth program before my career took me to California to work in the entertainment industry and to become a father to a young beautiful star who is also enrolled in the Buffalo Public Schools. So the legacy of my grandmother continues. She was the helm of the community, taking the young people in elementary school to Japan and Europe. So the profound impact that she had on students then still reigns now today. So this support that I stand before you now is to motion in the next work session that this occurrence does happen, and the significance of my great-grandmother, Nan M. Wood, and so that the wealth of knowledge and that generational wealth continues not only just for the Wood family, but for all of those in the Maston District, affectionately known as Cold Spring. So I thank you for your time, and I hope that we successfully make this endeavor happen. Thank you so much.
Next I have Greg Sawicki, teacher, special education, please.
Good evening, honorable board members, Superintendent Mubenga, and a special welcome to all the newly elected members. My name is Greg Sawicki. I am a proud 18-year veteran special education teacher in the Buffalo Public School District, and I come before the board again tonight to speak to the issue of special education placements in our 811 NYSA classrooms. The key components and expectations in the BPS NYSA classrooms are teaching quote-unquote life skills and functional academic skills to our students with the most severe cognitive disabilities. And for many years, the NYSA classrooms were 611 environments. By all accounts, mine included, this model worked very well. The decision to change the NYSA classrooms to 811, which is a reduction in services, happened during COVID and was never fully explained or discussed. And that reduction in services to our NYSA students also created seats now in an 811 environment that subsequently were filled with quote-unquote non-NYSA students, such as those with emotional disturbances, behavior issues, and level 3 autistic students. Perhaps a return to 611 NYSA classrooms is a part of the solution. I strongly think that should be considered as a starting point. I came and spoke at the November board meeting regarding the issue of the 811 NYSA classrooms, as well as the incorrect placements happening. And at that time, I related the incidents from October where one of my nicest students with autism physically assaulted me with a forceful punch to my chest. That was the first and only time I've been assaulted in my BPS career. Until December. That same student forcefully stabbed me with a pencil, which required medical attention. Thankfully, I'm okay. I'm here tonight. But I do have a permanent scar to memorialize that incident. But I will conclude my time here tonight by again welcoming all the new board members and reiterating the need to get some collaborative actions to correct this situation with the special education placements in our NYSA classrooms. Thank you.
Edward Spidell, parent, regarding parent concerns.
All right, before I start, I just want to say, again, we have students that can't participate in this because we're not following open meeting laws. There wasn't enough room for at least 15 or 20 people to come into this room. I asked for the third year in a row that we stop meeting at City Hall when we know at least when we know we have a lot of speakers, because it's not fair to the thing. And I would ask that you guys consider it, that you do something, because I know the staff, it's a burden on the staff here, but we gotta figure something out so it's fair to everyone. I don't really have a speech, I just wanna talk about a few things. First, I'm gonna say the same thing I said to last year's new board members. I'm gonna ask you to have the intelligence and the commitment and the courage to make the decisions that are best for students, not for adults, for students. Because we are here for the students. The adults will benefit when you make the right decisions for students. Parents on committees. We're getting asked to serve on committees, and we're being outnumbered 5 or 6 to 1 or 2. And when we break out into breakout rooms, we don't even have enough parents to go into every breakout room. So we're asking that you allow us to decide how many people we need on that committee so we can properly represent parents in our meetings. I don't defend adults usually, but I will say that the social workers is, I think, the third year in a row they've been here. And I'll just speak on behalf of Olmsted. The day we brought in a second social worker, for 3 straight years our suspensions have gone down because the regular social worker has SST duties which have to do with IEPs and all that, and the second social worker usually becomes the one that handles the new problems that no one expects. So it's important to keep the SST teams the way they are. What else do I have here? I want to thank Ms. Everhart and Ms. Zulis for going to the Unified Bowling. I know you kids participate, but you still were there, and thank you for supporting Unified Bowling. The biggest concern I have tonight, so we spent all this time working on a school closing committee, and I know I respect your decision that you didn't want to close schools. But now in turn, we're gonna lose the plans to advance all high to a state-of-the-art football field like the suburbs get. So anybody that lives in the suburb, they have state-of-the-art fields, and we're gonna take $7 million and put it in a building when, you know what, they could have had a plan for that building and they could have did, you know, capital improvement for that building. We should not be taking money from all high at all. I will say very shortly there will be a group of people that are gonna defend sports like it's their life, and we're gonna expect state-of-the-art facilities. We're gonna expect every child to have the same opportunity in this district to participate in sports as we do with my special needs kids that should have the same opportunities. One last thing, adapted PE. Adapted PE is a federal regulation, and Buffalo has the equipment, but it's never allowed to be added to our IEPs. True Baldwin brought in equipment for the 10 neediest schools, so there's adapted PE equipment in the schools. And one last thing, the teacher committee that's been meeting about special ed, we finally got 2 parents on it because we matter too, and we're gonna help find solutions to improve special ed. Thank you.
Next, we have Agit Malang, a student with youth voice, please.
Dr. Evans Brown, could I get your permission to have another one of our students go first? Just switch the order.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I do anything for students.
Good evening, Dr. Mulani. Good evening to the honorable members of the Board of Education. My name is Abdul Al-Hani. I am a community health worker and a sophomore at Da Vinci High School. I would like to begin by congratulating our new board members, Board Member White, Board Member Rodriguez, Board Member Bowen, and Board Member Hawkins. This is the first board meeting of 2026, and I'm optimistic and looking forward to the success of our district. We may need sunglasses because the future is looking very bright. Tonight, I want to speak about the voice of the youth and how we see more positive outcomes when we center the voice of the youth. I will be using two examples. The first example is the experience that I gained from being a community health worker and how I use that experience in school. The second example is how my school supports and centers the voice of the youth. Being a community health worker gave me experience in creating positive impact. We participate in meaningful circles, engage with one another, and support each other by listening, promoting restorative practices, and working with different youth and adults to explore different perspectives. The students involved also benefit by learning advocacy, improving communication skills, and supporting their mental health. Moving on to how the voice of the youth affects my school community at Leonardo da Vinci High School. In my school, the voice of the youth is centered, and we have seen positive and meaningful outcomes. Students gather ideas and help share their school experience. A large group of student representatives meets with the principal who represent themselves and their classmates. After collecting ideas and concerns from across the school, we share them in our monthly meetings with the principal, where we work on concerns and add new ideas. I have used my experience as a community health worker to make a positive impact on my school community, especially during advisory periods. Instead of students spending time staring at screens, we introduced real and engaging activities. These include discussion circles, contests, and activities that create a comfortable environment where students can express and share their feelings. This improves mental health, strengthens communication skills, increases engagement, and makes students more interested in school. This not only benefits our students, it also benefits our staff by improving the connection between staff and students. All of this starts with centering and listening to the voice of the youth. I believe every school should have this opportunity in order to build a strong and successful district. Thank you for your valuable time.
So Ms. Bauer, will Ajit Milan go now?
He's coming. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Akit, and I hope you all are doing well. I'm a community health worker and a student at PIPRA, and I will be speaking on my experience as a Buffalo Public School student. Students like myself in Buffalo Public Schools continue to face unfair opportunities because of resources, programs, and support are not equally shared among schools. Some schools offer a variety of advanced placement classes which let students challenge themselves, earn college credit, and improve their chances for a future success. Meanwhile, other schools like my own have very few or no AP options at all. This leaves motivated students without access to the same academic benefits, all due to the school we attend. Many schools do not properly implement advisory programs, which could help my peers succeed. Advisory provides me and other students with a safe space for students to connect with teachers, share their concerns, or offer feedbacks about their school environment. Without consistent advisory, I would feel unheard and unsupported. I I would miss chances to develop social emotional skills and advocate for positive change. I believe all students should have the opportunity to take AP classes and participate in advisory. These gaps can contribute to an unfair system where student voices, preparations, and futures depend on more of their school placement than on their effort, potential, and ambitions. Thank you for your time and have a good night.
Right. Jessica Bauer Walker, parent, about youth voice and justice.
Good evening, Superintendent. Good evening, board members and public. Happy New Year. Welcome to our new board members. We're really excited to start out this new year, a new board year, and work with you. We're here with our parent and youth community health workers and our youth. I have some powerful things to say tonight. MLK Day and our snow day or ice day or cold day were not days off for us. We were working hard. And this is where family and community partnerships and the voices of families really, really matter. So we spent MLK Day, we were hoping to be out in community together, but we weren't able to do that, but we're nothing if not flexible and adaptable. So we moved on to a Zoom meeting. I was having flashbacks from COVID and seeing all the little black boxes without the kids' faces and just their names, so I didn't know quite how it was gonna go. But at the last minute, on a day at noon, they woke up and they got onto Zoom and we had a dozen plus of them talking about Dr. King and his legacy. I was so impressed with how engaged that they were. And we started with, what do you know? What do you know about Dr. King? What do you know about the story? What did you hear about Rosa Parks, right? I'm telling you, they are learning very little of this in school. We have a lot of good theoretical framework. We've got a great CLRI framework, and there's some really good work that's been done. We have a lot more work to do, especially in this environment that we're in. It's more important than ever. We use a teaching and learning pedagogy called popular education. Just show of hands in the room, who's heard of popular education before? Okay, a lot of people don't know about this as a pedagogy, and it's was used in Highlander Folk School where Dr. King, Rosa Parks, and John Lewis were trained. But it's interesting that very many people don't know about it, and it's a framework where everybody teaches and everybody learns. We learn from our youth. They tell us things all the time that we don't know. We have an interracial, intercultural, intergenerational format. We had Mama Bar who came in and talked with us as an elder to give some grounding. We had Mr. Spidell talk about his experience when schools were integrated and being on the bus, being bused across school. This is deeply important work. And this group of students, we have straight A students who are going to criteria-based schools. We have students who are on long-term suspensions and in alternative programs. We are all one community. We're all equally human. We are all equally important. We support each other. We love each other. And that is way too rare. So I just want to lift up them. I'm here to just support their voices, youth voice. We have to stop saying the words and we have to practice it. And we are practicing it with them. They've spent time generating statements. And students who've spoken at board meetings were actually the students who helped them to generate their topics, who are working with them today to prepare their statements, who are giving them feedback. So this is a scaffolded model that's really about leadership, workforce development. We pay these kids to do this work too because they need money. So thank you for listening to them. Thank you for, we'll be inviting you into spaces to talk with them about issues that are important to them. We've got a couple who've spoken and a couple more that are coming up that have some really powerful things to say. So I'm really proud of them and thank you for all those of you that work with us.
Survey Gay, student, regarding justice.
Good evening. My name is Suri and I am a student community health worker. I am here today to speak for students in Buffalo Public Schools. Students whose voices often aren't heard. In Buffalo Public Schools, many students depend on public transportation to get into school. For a lot of us, taking the bus isn't a choice, it is the only option. From my own experience, there have been days when the bus was too full or late and I couldn't get on. Because of that, I ended up late for school and received a attention. Not because I didn't care, but because the transportation system failed. We need to make transportation easier and more reliable for students. Some students in our group have to wake up as early as 5:30 in the morning just to get to school. They live far away, sometimes on the opposite side of the city from their school, and it can take over an hour to get there. When buses are late, overcrowded, or inconsistent, those students end up late, and sometimes they get punished for it. That punishment impacts student motivation to learn, and students are being disciplined for something they cannot control. Some schools ask the students why are they late and others do not. This is not equitable. Another issue that came up in my school was food running out in the last lunch period. Food access is a big issue for families in Buffalo, and many students depend on school meals to get proper nutrition. Students spoke up about this at our school wellness team, and our assistant principal helped to set up a meeting with food service staff where we talked directly and were able to solve the problem together. This shows that change is possible when students are heard. This is why student voice matters when students speak up about issues like transportation or food access. We are not complaining. We are asking for systems that are equitable and just. We can apply this to many issues to make sure all students have what they need in school and in life. Thank you.
To close the night, we have Najib Hussein, student for Youth Voice.
Can you say which school you go to?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Najib Hussein. I'm a youth community health worker and I'm a sophomore at Olmsted 156. I have been a part of the Buffalo public school system throughout my entire academic career thus far, as well as my older siblings who have each now all graduated from the Buffalo public school. Today I'd like to bring to your attention an issue in our schools in which youth voices are being silenced, especially when it comes to speaking out about the genocide currently happening in Palestine, where more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed, all 125 hospitals have been destroyed, and 2,300 schools have been destroyed with our U.S. tax dollars. I myself was reprimanded by school administrators at my moving up day ceremony. Offer wearing a kufiya and expressing my beliefs. I wear the kufiya today because it symbolizes Palestinian heritage and resilience. All photos of me from the ceremony were even removed and deleted from our class album. More recently, some of my peers in BPS were not allowed to perform a traditional Palestinian dance for Culture Day, and others reported that their school has outright banned wearing the kufiya in class. In the past, Buffalo public schools have taken a stance and showed support for Ukraine by decorating the schools with Ukraine flags and conducting performances, as well as releasing statements following October 7th that stand with Israel, an entity which the United Nations and International Criminal Court of Justice has deemed an apartheid and genocidal state. But when it comes to Palestine, students aren't allowed to do anything to show their support, all to maintain BPS's rhetoric of peace, when in reality, one group continues to oppress another. Without justice, there cannot be peace. I, as well as other Muslim and Arab American BPS students in my community, have received pushback when talking about Palestine in class, and have experienced discrimination and aggression from teachers and administrators just for wearing a kufiya, or for showing support for Palestine. Which brings me to another point of how Muslim students have yet to be accommodated and made to feel safe by BPS. Muslim students need a place to perform Friday prayer during school day, especially with the month of Ramadan approaching. Many students will yet again have to choose between practicing their religion by performing Friday prayer and going to school. If BPS schools simply designated a place and time for students to pray on Fridays, absenteeism on Fridays due to religious obligations could be addressed. I would like to make two requests to BPS. 1. Have a BPS-wide Palestinian Heritage Day to uplift Palestinian voices, as well as encourage teachers and school staff to open dialogue on the ongoing genocide in Gaza. And 2. Ensure all Muslim BPS students have a space to pray in school for Friday prayer. We must follow the steps of MLK and other civil rights activists such as Malcolm X and abolitionists such as Angela Davis. We all like to think we'd be on the right side of history, but need I remind you how controversial it was to be against slavery or against Jim Crow? Think about what side of history you would like to be on when history books are published years later from now. I encourage you to listen to student voices as we stand for the plight of Palestinians resisting genocide. Thank you for your time.
That's it?
Yep.
Thank you, each and every one of you. You were heard. Dr. Mbinga, I don't know if you have anything
All
you
right.
wanted to say to the speakers.
All right, thank you, Board President. And I just want to be clear when it comes to public comments. I don't want to overpromise and not be able to deliver. You know, when you bring issues and concerns, just to be able to respond, to tell you what's going to be the next steps, I don't think that is a good practice, because there are issues where I have to consult with my cabinet and before we can make any decisions. But let me start off by saying thank you for coming out tonight, making sure that your voices are being heard here. I'm going to start with students. Our students, it means a lot to see you come out at night and be able to meet our board and talk to superintendent and cabinet as well. So your voices, I heard you. I think I've been here for almost 5 months. There were issues that we were able to address as soon as you came in, raise those concerns, and we're able to address those issues. My cabinet, they are fully aware. Anytime you bring your issues, your concerns, they're taking notes, and their responsibility is to follow up, making sure that we're meeting your needs. To our community member that's brought up the issue about CPR, that's really life-saving training that we all need to have. And I had that training myself as well. We're going to look at our budget, and we got to keep in mind also logistically how can we get that done. Again, I'm going to say this, I'm not going to overpromise, but it was well noted that this training is going to save life, and all our staff pretty much need that training as well. And then the person that's brought up the idea about memorial page, that's an excellent idea. Let me bring it up to our cabinet meeting on Monday, and then see what I need to find out, first of all, the history. How we did it before, how did we get to that point before we can shift. But it's well noted, and I'll bring it to our cabinet. Our social worker as well as our counselors. If you listen to my comment during board meetings or maybe in the media, I never said that I do not support our social worker nor our school counselors. I'm fully aware. American Social Worker Association recommend about 1 counselor for 250 students. I think when you look at our data, we probably somewhere around 1 to 370 or even higher. So that's a work that we need to do, and at the same time, keeping in mind we have to look at our budget and see what adjustment need to be made. So I never said that I do not support that. And my background being a middle school principal and a high school principal, I know how important that is. Value your work and respect your work. Change with our special education. I think BTF representative, and I think one of our expert teacher that spoke here as well, I was able to direct my cabinet to make sure that teachers are expert. They need to be around the table as we're making these decisions. So I hope that work is going to continue. So by the time we get to June, we're going to have really good and robust recommendations how we need to improve our services to our students as well as our families. To the person that brought the idea of renaming School 53, well received. My staff, they know what are the next steps to make sure that we are really on track following board policy. And to our parents, I heard you loud and clear. That's a note to me and as well as my cabinet members. Anytime we have a committee, we gotta make sure that we balance the voices of parents. That's really important, and I'm really flattered to be able to see that our parents are getting involved as well. So that's pretty much a summary of what I was able to retain based on your comments. We respect you, and this work cannot be done by superintendent or cabinet or board members alone. It's gonna take all of us to be able to move our district forward. As we're going through this budget, and I just want you all to know this, it's going to be a very collaborative effort. I started with my cabinet, as I said to our board members, that I started cutting at the cabinet level first before we can trickle that down. And I think, if I recall correctly, we said we're able to capture about 45 positions in the district in lieu of closing those 2 schools. I heard you loud and clear. Don't close our school, don't close our schools. But we gotta go somewhere to be able to balance the budget. So we're gonna try as much as possible not to hurt anybody, but we're gonna do this work collaboratively. So those are my comments or my response to the comments. I see here, they're bringing me something else to remember. Yes, all our students are really valued, all ethnicities, Muslim, everybody's really welcome. And you can see me sitting here, my background, everybody's welcome. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Mavinga, for responding to our speakers. Next, we have our student representative report. Elon? Yeah. You want to go here? You rather go here? Which one?
I hope our students can stick around for a few more minutes as we have our student representative who want to give his report. So if you can give him that respect, that will be helpful. A good 5 minutes. Yeah.
Because you want to face the audience. Just hold on. I know. So that the other kids can hear them. Okay.
They're watching you online as well, so you're gonna help them.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Iman Khan, and as you may all know, I'm your inner high student president. And we have been busy working on our ways to address the Inner High Student Council's 2025 to 2026 priorities. I have 5 of them for you guys, so be prepared. First one being to give all BPS high school students an opportunity to know what Inner High is and use Inner High to be their student voice. We have developed an elevator pitch presentation for Inner High to be explained to students. We are also in process of getting Inner High a web page, a Facebook page, and an Instagram account. Secondly, to have every BPS high school participate in Inner High. Currently, we have 14 schools participate up to date. Olmsted, MST, iPrep, South Park, Riverside, Da Vinci, Burgard, Hutch Tech, McKinley, East, Buffalo Culinary, Bennett, Research Lab, and Middle Early College. We are working on ways to get other schools to participate and would like to ask the board and district leadership to support and assist with the priority. Right now, students in non-participating schools do not have a voice and do not have an opportunity to be heard. To have their voice included, we are exploring partnering with National Honor Society to get more schools to participate and for it to be known. Thirdly, to address vaping epidemic, we are having a presentation at our next meeting on vaping prevention and are planning to brainstorm what we, the student leaders, could do to help address this problem. Fourthly, our district service project this year is to help those with food insecurity. We are partnering with Feed More Western New York for a February food drive in our participating high schools. More information will be coming out next week in our January 29th meeting for Interact. And fifth, when we met with Superintendent Mubenga in December, we talked about attendance and what we could do to improve it. We are excited to see that today it was announced that one of the suggestions that was made at the meeting, recognizing students who have good attendance and already being implemented. We are having another brainstorming activity during our next inter-high meeting to see what we could do to improve attendance. One of the things we wanted to ask the board is, has moving the high school's start time to a later hours ever been considered? There are 3 reasons why we asked this question. First being, there's a lot of research that showcases advantages of later school times for adolescents. Advantages include increased cognitive functioning, mental health, and academic performance. Second is many of our high school students are responsible for putting their younger siblings on the buses. With elementary school starting later, it makes high school students late. Wouldn't it make sense to reverse the start times? Third, we told Dr. Mubenga about the NFT buses and being overcrowded in the morning. Students are competing with people that are going to work. And if the start times were later, there will be less issue NFT buses being too full. Thank you very much. That's all.
What time would you suggest?
A good time I would suggest is 9 o'clock.
9 to 5? Like
Yes.
the regular just work week?
9 to 5.
9 to 5?
Yes.
I think you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
The New York State Department of Health has an anti-vaping put down the vape campaign, and you can go right online and request all the materials. I can definitely follow up with you
Yes.
later to make sure that's available to you all. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Excellent work.
Thank you. Any other questions for our student leader?
Oh, I lost track. Which high schools are not participating?
So as of right now, we don't have Da Vinci. No, not Da Vinci. It's what's it called?
Because you have 14, and we have how many? 17?
Can I help?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, please.
Not participating schools are performing arts,
Performing arts, yeah.
city honors,
City honor.
What?
Emerson, and Lafayette. Alternative, we wanted to have them on board as well, but they gave us a hard no this year because they said they felt like that would be a difficult lift for their students this year. They have participated in the past.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Excellent job.
Come on. Good job. Such a good job. Okay. So we have the superintendent's update.
All right, thank you, board president. I think board members, I was able to send to you email or special notes that we're not presenting data tonight. Our apologies, but we'll make sure that you will have that data moving forward. We really want to make sure that you have that report a week before. And I'm seeing body language here that you did not receive that email.
Maybe in your.
Did you see the special notes?
You told us in our small group meeting.
Small group meetings.
So yeah.
Okay, it was not an email. Okay. Okay, my apologies, and I think executive session as well as small meetings. That's why I was able to bring it up. So my apologies to you because you were not there. So we really want to make sure that you have that report a week before, so that you will be well prepared to be able to ask your questions. So moving forward, you will have that report a week before. Again, let me take this point of privilege to just mention a couple of things here. The first one, student incentive. Thank you for echoing that sentiment. I know as you're going to look at that on the social media, there are going to be mixed feelings there. But I strongly believe that our students need to be celebrated along the way. And our schools, they're doing a good job already celebrating our students. So we just wanted to have another layer at the district level. So kudos to Say Yes to Buffalo, and I give credit to David Ross for helping us financially with this particular initiative. The second point, I know board, you're going to vote tonight when it comes to shifting funds from all high to the roof at McKinley. I just want you to know, and please give me a little bit of benefit of doubt here. I just got here 5 months ago. When I got here, there was not a comprehensive plan about capital planning. we did not have a good comprehensive plan. And I was able to tell our COO to make sure that he generated that and he was able to present it in our cabinet. And we have to go ahead prioritizing those needs. And when folks say, how about McKinley? Why you guys did not fix that roof in the past? They were putting some Band-Aid, but we got to the point where it's really in a bad shape. As superintendent, I have some time to shift priorities. That's what I'm bringing to you tonight. I say, please let's support the roof because our students do not need to be having buckets in the classroom and rain draining and all that kind of stuff. So I strongly believe in athletics. Strongly believe in athletics. Some of our students are really motivated to come to school because of athletics. But we're not neglecting that particular project. In the future, we're going to be able to come back and be able to bring that to replenish that $7 million that we're asking your approval so that we can move this project forward. I just wanted to say it out there so that when you make your decision, it's going to be a well-informed decision. We really need help to make sure that our students are really in a conducive learning environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mabenga. Can I get a motion to approve the board minutes from November 19th, 2025, December 17th, 2025, and January 5th, 2026?
So moved.
Okay, that's Scott and Eberhard. Thank you. Consent agenda.
Motion to accept.
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to accept. Any, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh.
Need a motion, right?
Did you have a motion?
Seconded by Adjourn.
Can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion to accept.
Eberhard, second by
Zulich.
Zulich. Are there any questions or comments?
Will the questions be posted in board docs moving forward? I know they weren't this month, but.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. So Chief Amos said they will be posted next month in board docs because we like that. You know, sometimes I think it just gives more credence, and if we have to go back to review, we can do that. So thank you for that. Are there any questions or comments? If not,
On the consent agenda?
I think we're still on the
Yes.
consent agenda, yes. 'Cause-
President, it's from you.
yes.
Quick comment, 23C, external audit corrective action plan. You board members probably need a full presentation on this, but with us being a city, large city school district, all our funds are kept in the city account, City of Buffalo account, and it collects interest. And our external audit has come back many times scrutinizing that we're not getting all of our interest back that we deserve. And I'm just making this again public, because we passed a resolution to get this rectified and a resolution to get an MOU with BPD, and we have a new administration in City Hall, and I'm just hopeful that there will be some renewed conversation on this and hopefully some resolution to it soon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for
Thank
that, board member Scott. A conversation was had about that on yesterday, and I believe Chief Barnes mentioned that so far we've received something like $2 million in interest, right?
Last year, yeah.
Last year, and so hopefully.
That was up from about 700,000. That was an increase of about 1.3 million from the $700,000 or so we were receiving in previous years. So we are working on it. We're making incremental progress. It's not a black and white issue. With the super's approval, I'll present this to the board.
Yeah, that would be That would be wonderful.
Is that the maximum number, just because it increases, is that the maximum number that we should?
No, no. It's more closer to 4 or 5 million.
Say there's $300 million in there. That's money that both us and the city use for their operations. So only a portion of the total cash balance is ever removed from the account and put in a short-term investment. So it's not like saying 400 million times 3%. And then the city will offset whatever amount we come up with the services they perform for us for free, such as no rent at City Hall, such as they pay for the crossing guard. So I'll present it, and the superintendent and I will be meeting with the mayor and the comptroller staff. I just, those little nuances.
Cash and trade.
Pardon?
Cash and trade.
I'm sure they will, yeah. Or start charging us rent.
And so, yeah, so,
I'm just saying. And Larry, I would have been disappointed if you didn't bring this issue up.
so we're certainly looking forward to future discussions and presentations about it. I don't know why 5 million sticks in my brain.
There's been no calculation of 5 million. That was a board member's number.
Well, if they start charging us rent, then maybe we can get a more advanced Board of Education room that can fit people and people can hear and see everything.
The superintendent and I will start those discussions.
Or we can go into
Okay,
council quarters.
So we're excited about that.
Big enough.
Okay, so we did second the agenda. Okay, so may I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Everhart, second by Zulich. Thank you.
In favor.
All in favor? Nope, not in favor?
Roll call.
Okay, roll call. So General Counsel, please hold the board.
On the motion to approve the consent agenda, do you have any exceptions? And just to point of clarification, I noticed the printed agendas still had item 19B, the Epson McGraw Architectural Design Services. That was removed from the table and agenda, so this would not include that item, just for clarification purposes. It was removed from the online board docs, but it looked like it had made it into the printed version. So on the motion to approve the consent agenda, do you have any exceptions, Board Member Bowen?
No.
Vice President Everhart?
No exceptions, but I will say that I'm going to trust Dr. Mubenga to bring the $7 million back over to Bennett High School. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Hawkins, do you have any exceptions?
Consent agenda. Can you be more specific on that?
So you're either gonna say no exceptions, if you wanna go everything through, or if there is an item, you say accept.
And if there's any reasons for recusal of any items, just to give a point of clarification, you can say that you were recused from an item and then just give a reason such as, member, familial relations or something along those lines.
Section 6 dues.
I want to know more about.
I don't see it either.
Bless you.
Sorry.
He elaborated a little bit more in detail what that meant. Because I do want to talk about 19A.
What is 19A?
The metal roof.
19A.
School 72.
School 72.
Roofing. Roofing construction.
Is that the roof, the full floor?
School something. There's something else. There's something else.
Yeah, that's
The
like $2
Vinci.
billion.
Yeah.
I think it was the roof there.
That's where we take them for all high safety.
Does you have a question? We have team here that can respond to the question.
You want somebody, did you need some clarity on 19 A. Board Member Hawkins?
Yes, I need clarity.
Okay, so. is-
Staff, Patricia,
And Burns? This is about the roof at School 72.
Good evening, esteemed board members. If I can just offer a suggestion, if any of you want to see what a conference room can look like in City Hall, go visit the 9th floor. The 9th floor, we just completely redid their conference room for zoning, planning, and all those other boards. It's state of the art. It's very large, and it could accommodate bigger. There isn't another option.
So that's an option. Wow,
Thank you.
well, that's good to know.
We have to work
I
on
would
it.
please go check it out, just to see if it is sufficient.
Yes.
Board Member Hawkins, what
You
kind of
good?
questions do you have?
How you getting home?
Dad's coming. He's here.
Okay. Thank you. Excellent.
Just reviewing this here,
Thank you.
the pricing of the roof. How long has this been an issue?
For a number of years, we have, I would say, in terms of this roof has been on the radar between 4 to 5 years now. There was a let me just hold this up. Here is our building conditions survey that the superintendent has all marked up because it's a working copy. I'm more than happy to provide copies to everybody. Under Dr. Mubenga's advice, we took every 5 years, the district gives conditions of all the buildings and what needs to be done. And we prioritize it on a color basis that says how much time we have left for the various building features. Roof, windows, doors, whatever it may be. This roof was we have several roofs that are in this state. 2 would be, McKinley is in the worst shape. 72 is pretty close, and there's 1 or 2 other ones that are not that far behind. We made this presentation just so everyone is aware to the District Parent Coordinating Committee last Tuesday night, and it was very well received. They asked questions for 2 straight hours, and they had not a million, but very many questions. I wanted to come to the roof detail, Mr. Hawkins. So right now, it's estimated that the district needs $150 million in roof repairs, and that 48% of our roofs have 5 years or less left on them. Here's the demographic. So it's one of the things, particularly because as the building envelope deteriorates, all the water and moisture that's on the outside goes into the inside, and bad things happen.
Now, this is a capital project?
Yes, this one.
Is it being used with capital funds or a weird thing to do?
No. So when you say we're paying the bill, that's
Is that the district? Is the district covering that, or is it being used with capital?
So when the district covers, there's 2 ways we can do it. So one is that we can either, there are certain things we pay, that if we pay without getting a approval from the state education department, then they're very reluctant to reimburse us. They do not like to reimburse after the fact. I don't want to speak for the state education department. I will get in big trouble. They don't like when people speak for them. But typically the way the process works is that you would identify what needs to be done. You go through and you have your architectural design work done. Once that's done, you submit to SED for a permit. They will say yay or nay. When they say yay, then you're good to go. And then you would submit that for the appropriate reimbursement. So that's typically they want. Do they make exceptions for emergencies? Yes, they do. So if we had an emergency that had to be done now, then they will make the exception, but not everything can be an emergency. And they want the emergencies to be limited in scope. If you know that the roof needed to be done for 4 years and you waited too long, then it is an emergency. That's what they're going to, that's going to be the question I'm going to ask.
Now, have we done that in the past where we were reimbursed, and is that documented?
That part, because that predates me a little bit.
Bonds, Chief Bonds, you've been here longer. Can you respond?
Yeah, for this project specifically, it was part of 21 projects that we submitted through the City of Buffalo's capital project process, and it was approved by the Common Council and the mayor. That approval gave us access to bonding. The funding for this project comes from the sale of a bond. Right now, that normally happens in April, that's being held up by the comptroller. So this project fully went through the official City of Buffalo capital project, capital budget process, was approved, and it's ready for bonding. Bonding is being held up right now by the controller, so that's where the money would come from for this project. And the beauty of bonding is, say this project is about $2 million, you get the bond proceeds, you pay the contractors with the proceeds from the bond, so it doesn't impact your cash. Then you get building aid for the $2 million over 15 years, and you repay your bond over 15 years. This is a New York State 50-year-old process, if followed, and if you have the cooperation of the city and the controller, it's minimal cash impact on our cash resources. It's the preferred and best financial way to do that. So this project has been fully approved. We're waiting for bond.
Are you sure that it's the best just because it's preferred? Are you sure that's the best?
Yes, from a financial standpoint, when it has zero impact on your district cash, it's the best. The alternative is, all right, you don't go through that process. You gotta come up with $2 million to pay your vendors. Your cash balance just went down to $2 million. When your cash balance should be geared toward educating our children, not fixing buildings.
Okay.
So basically, it's not reimbursable because the comptroller is not gonna do a bond.
It's on pause.
It will be
It's on pause.
reimbursable, but we'll have to pay the contractors out of our pockets
Right.
up front.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yes.
So I'll probably ask this for every project, but can you talk to me about what the MWBE participation looks like on this project?
Sure. So for everyone, it's an attached document.
Okay.
So for every single project we get out there, we get the MWBE forms that list them. We do have a goal of trying to encourage and promote MWBE contractors. So that's one of the reasons why it's in there. One of the things, as a longer note, I know that Cabinet Member Amos and I have discussed, is ways that we can promote and grow the pool of contractors, because it's not like we flip the switch on. Board Member Rodriguez, it's something we need to cultivate and grow.
Oh, I
and
really
get those
appreciate
things.
your background in that, but one of the reasons I ask that is because I've spent some time in that space, and I really appreciate you outlining the district's efforts.
Yeah, honestly we are, and again, it's something we should probably have a different presentation on, but one of the things, so sometimes it comes down to capacity.
Okay.
So do we divvy up a project into smaller bites so that we can have that? But it's something that we're constantly monitoring, because this board, I know previous boards have always made the priority.
Thank you, sir.
0 out of 5.
What's that?
0 out of 5 participation.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I know it's not good. We have, when it comes to our large, so Mr. Hawkins, so when it comes to our large contractors, we have a small pool of contractors that are doing that. When we have smaller vendors and smaller contractors, the percentage goes up. But for our large contractors and for certain particular vendors, yeah, it's not where we need to be.
Right.
Yeah. And if you want, we looked into one time doing a disparity study, but we can have that
Yeah, we
conversation.
understand that some MWBs are kind of backlogged, so they don't get these type of opportunities when they occur. So, yeah, this is an eyesore. I have an issue with that. And, I may go no on something like that just because of that.
Sure, understandable.
Can I make one additional comment, Superintendent? This goes to comments and confusion and an opinion often that nothing is being done. Last year was the first year of our official capital budget process. We got approved 26 projects, lighting, masonry, roofs, and we went through the City of Buffalo process. They all got approved. We went and sold a bond for $21.9 million. We took the proceeds from the bond, we've paid the vendors. I'd say 90% of those projects are 80% done. You're gonna start seeing playgrounds, roofing, lighting, masonry at 26 different school locations. If you ever wanted to visit them, Lou's teams can take you out. There is a lot being done. That was just year 1. Now we're in year 2, being stalled by the comptroller.
And it's 97%
Yes.
reimbursed?
97%.
In this project, we did both list some of the projects, so I will give Dr. Mbenga and Chief Financial Officer Barnes hard marks on that. They've recognized that there hasn't been the capital improvements in the past. They're looking to right the ship, but it takes 18 months to 2 years to get these projects done. One thing this report will also show is where the dollars are going on a map across the board, but also, you know, a nice kind of photo so that people can see what the scope of the project looks like also. So anybody that wants a copy, you're more than welcome. And
Just
my staff worked very hard on it.
I need more MWBs. I guess there are MWBs out there that should be participating. So I it should. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm asking you to do more in that regard, but for it to be 0 out of 5, it just seemed like there was no effort put into having that number look the way it is.
Do we post that anywhere besides?
The postings are also there, but we go through, so there's a contractors board that it goes out to, that we will post it to, then all the local media that we do,
Can you
including.
email that to the board?
Oh, yeah.
What are your
absolutely.
local medias?
So in terms of, the media will do the Challenger, the Criterion, and those smaller papers in addition to the Buffalo News and some of the other ones. But the big thing are the construction exchanges. The other thing that we tried to do is promote for contract to register for our listserv, so when the RFPs go out, that they will be noticed as well. Because a lot of times it's more about getting the information into their inbox than it is putting it on the back of the newspaper. Like, we'll do both, but anything we can do to get into someone's inbox is far more effective.
Could we, maybe outside the board meeting have a deeper conversation?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, I really appreciate it.
I don't want to go too far outside my wheelhouse because our DEI cabinet members is behind this also, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that education.
She was putting numbers. Mary.
She was pulling. Okay, Mary, you want to continue?
So I guess for point of clarification, since additional information was provided, I guess I can just check with the board members who have already voiced their votes on this. With the additional information, Board Member Bowen, I know you said you had no exceptions before. Do you have any exceptions now?
No.
Okay. Vice President Everhart? No exceptions. Okay, thank you. Board Member Hawkins?
No exceptions.
Board Member McKecken?
No exceptions.
Board Member Rodriguez?
No exceptions.
Sorry, you're fine. Board Member Scott?
No exceptions.
Board Member Wright?
No exceptions.
Vice President Zulich?
No exceptions.
And President Evans Brown?
I just have a question, and this to Board Member Hawkins. Was there any, did I overlook something in terms of Section 6 dues in this packet?
It's not.
No, I didn't see anything on section 6.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure because,
But that is something that needs to be discussed.
Very true.
not now though.
It's not on it.
Yeah, as long as it's not on there.
Not on
I
it.
just didn't want to overlook it. Okay, no exceptions.
Okay, the consent agenda is unanimously approved.
Thank you. Next we have board member resolutions. Board Member Scott.
Yes, thank you, Board President. So I really don't want to get divisive on this. I just was looking for us to get on the same page and follow the policy that we have on the books and municipal law. We have, as you know, we operate at over $1 billion budget. We are facing a looming deficit, and I think as the Board of Education, we should be prudent, accountable, and transparent about how we're spending our own budget. So the resolution I am proposing before you are introducing resolution on Board Policy 2020, attendance by board members at conferences, conventions, and workshops. Whereas the Board of Education Policy 2320, in accordance with Education Law 2118 and General Municipal Law 77B and 77C indicates, and the first part is just kind of a rationale for the policy and the importance of us having the opportunity to attend conferences and in-services and workshops, so I'll skip over that and go to A. And this is directly wording from the policy. The board clerk will inform the board of upcoming conferences, conventions, and workshops. The board will periodically decide which meetings appear to be most likely to produce direct and indirect benefits to the district. At least annually, the board will identify those new ideas or procedures and or cost benefits that can be ascribed to participation at these meetings. B, funds for participation at conferences, conventions, workshops, and the like will be budgeted for on an annual basis. When funds are limited, the board will designate which members are to participate at a given meeting. C, reimbursement to board members for all actual necessary registration fees, expenses, travels, meals, lodging, and all necessary tuition fees incurred in connection with attendance of conferences and the like will be in accordance with established regulations for expense reimbursement. And D, when a conference, convention, or workshop is not attended by the full board, those who do participate will be requested to share information, recommendations, and materials acquired at the meeting. And then lastly, the authorization for board members to attend a conference, convention, or workshop will be by board resolution adopted prior to attendance. However, the board in its discretion may delegate the power to authorize attendance at conferences to the president of the board. And then whereas I referenced our guardrails, which we committed to following all policies, board policies, and whereas the board has budgeted $49,000 for conferences and travel in the 25-26 budget, and since July 2025, board members have expended almost $40,000 on conference and travel fees without board approval. Therefore, be it resolved, all board members will commit to complying with board policy 2320 in accordance with education law 2118 and municipal law, and only permit attendance at conference, convention, or workshop by board resolution adopted prior to attendance at and in accordance with board policy 1510, which requires supporting documentation to all board members at least 8 hours in advance of a regularly scheduled meeting of the board in order for the board to act, study, or decide on the resolution.
Okay, thank you for that. I also filed a resolution. Should his
Yes,
Need a
that
need a
resolution
second.
is on the table.
need a
I
motion,
think
right?
you would
Need a
need a motion
second.
to adopt the resolution,
Motion.
and then you would need a second to that, and then there would be the roll call. If there could be discussion now as
Now,
well.
is that before I read my resolution?
Yes, because that resolution is separate.
Okay.
So you'd be voting on Mr. Scott's resolution.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Well, don't we need to, I moved the resolution, we need to
Okay.
second it or else it's dead.
You can have you made a motion to adopt,
Motion to adopt.
and was there a second to that?
And that allows us to talk about it?
Yes.
It can. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so what you're saying is we attended conferences and training without permission? Because
Well-
I'm not seeing what's different between the original
There is nothing.
policy 2320. Okay, so what you're saying is we violated 2320.
I don't say that in this resolution. What I'm asking for is for us to follow it moving forward.
Okay,
But since you asked that question, when I kind of looked into this, the last time it looks like we were close to following this policy was 2022 when Lou Petrucci was president, and it's in our board meeting minutes that we approved the attendance of a board member to a WASDAT conference. That was October 2022.
so every conference we attended last year was without board approval. Is that what you're saying? Because the president also says that the president can give power of authority to board members to attend conferences.
Well, we can delegate the power to the president.
Okay,
So it's been some time. The way we did it when I started on the board is
Mhm.
that there should be a resolution with some supporting documentation. And that's how we did it with this WASI conference. It says the board member, it says the amount of money that could be spent on that
got it.
conference.
So
And then we
every
vote on it.
single time we go on a conference or a training, we would have to delegate power to the president, or we will have to come up with a resolution. Is that
The
your understanding?
resolution is first.
Okay.
That's what he's alluding to.
When we know like it's coming up, we would add it to the agenda at that board meeting before it's booking. So like when they release it, when Lisa sends out the kind of call out that says anybody interested in attending, we would also add it to that board meeting.
To the resolution.
Correct, yes, that says like this one is coming up. We're
And what's the
authorizing-
alternative to that?
I think what we've been doing, which is just.
Get permission from the board president?
I don't even know that has been happening.
Well,
I don't
if
know.
the board
I don't know how it's been
president.
happening.
It was assumed that the board
Yeah.
president gave the
Permission.
board gave the authority to the president. So I'm confused.
But when did the board do that?
I've been
It
on the
can't
board.
just be assumed.
I've been on the board as long as you have.
Yeah, and I don't recall a time.
But I
delegating
don't.
that
I
authority.
don't ever remember us bringing different conferences to a board every time somebody. Excuse me. Excuse me. As I was saying, I don't remember any conferences every time somebody's going on a trip, a conference, etc. coming to the board before that happened.
I just cited one, and there's at least two others that I was able to find on board docs. It was actually board member Lou Petrucci who had a resolution for us to attend one of the local events that we voted on and approved.
Yeah, it just seems strange to me. My first conference was sent to me by Dr. K, and he didn't say anything about that.
We weren't following policy. Like there's a lot of policies that I don't know that we're following or that we even know we have. I think that's why the council's recommending too that we look at and review the policies that we have. Because often we're not following them or we're not even aware what policies are in there because there are a lot.
Okay, so this is just one that came to your attention. Because of the WASET. If we're not following to the T many policies, this one came to your attention due to WASET.
That was one of them,
Got
but
it.
there's many.
Got it.
Many.
Many
conferences
policies that we're not
No,
following.
not many conferences and
Right.
travel that's been paid for that we haven't approved by
Right,
in
but
accordance with
what
this
I'm saying is
policy.
Dr. K knew everything about this district and he did not tell me that. And my first conference was booked by him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know how it's.
And I talked to Dr. K about it too, and
Okay, so we could
in my
talk.
conversations with him, it was more forward, let's get this right now. I don't wanna so much, unless we want to, I don't wanna really get into the past. We have a new board, I'm hopeful and encouraged by this new day, and I'm just hoping we get on the same page and we follow the policy that's in place, and state law.
So I think that we selectively cite the municipal law. The last sentence and what you're citing, 77B2, is, however, the governing board may delegate the power to authorize attendance at such conference to any executive officer, which sounds like to me,
That's in my resolution,
it sounds like to me, where?
right here.
No,
That exact word.
it's different.
What is it? Read it again?
Any executive officer. That's our policy 2320. You selectively cite 77B2.
So read what you're reading and.
So you're saying we have to have a resolution first. It's saying we may have a resolution or we may use our discretion and the governing board may delegate the power to
Correct.
authorize attendance.
Correct.
So you didn't include that in the bottom.
But I did though, here.
That's
In the
our
whereas.
board policy 2320 is what you quote, which is a little different.
Okay.
And it's redundant. So I don't know why the board should explicitly commit to complying with board policy 2320. I mean, commitment to all board policies is implied. Like we all took an oath, and I can only speak for myself, don't interrupt please. I'm confident that all of us at this table are committed to following all of our policies. The selective outrage by the author of this resolution is curious to me. On May 17th, 2023, He voted for a $2.9 million lease that circumvented the usual process. Procurement procedure was not followed, which is publicly noted in board docs. Agenda item 22B, lease for Middle Early College High School at 45 Jewett. This space didn't even have a certificate of occupancy. The district paid rent for 8 months for a vacant space and then settled in court. All told, over $1 million was wasted to not spend a single day there, and not a peep from my colleague. With policy 2320, we're talking about $49,000 annually for conferences, conventions, workshops, and other learning opportunities for 9 elected officials annually. For perspective, it will take 21 years of our trips to spend that $1 million. Additionally, I take issue with public mischaracterization that the board flagrantly violated this policy. We did not.
put it on
December
your
31st,
Facebook.
2025, your Facebook post. But even if we did, why not have a conversation? Why
Yeah.
sit on these alleged violations for an entire year and then make a misleading social media post? The board's time and energy is always better spent on monitoring student outcomes instead of monitoring other adults' imagined policy violations. And I think we could make it official and just vote in our discretion to give our board president the authority to authorize attendance.
Board President?
Yes. Go ahead.
So, I didn't want to get into the past, but it's important for the public to know that we have spent $15,000 on trips to a vendor conference for board members to attend, just board members. This last one was in November, $6,500 all-inclusive for 2 board members to attend. We weren't even informed of it happening, let alone have a chance to approve it. And it's interesting, Board Member Zulich, that you're raising this because I have correspondence with you raising concern about that particular conference. I have
I'd be
it in
careful about correspondence because I also have
writing.
correspondence.
I know you do.
Okay, can we
I know you do.
move on? Let's move on to vote on
Can
Larry's
I say something?
board members' proposal, resolution. Board Member Wright, you have,
I don't have nothing to say. I would like to vote, please.
okay. All right,
With
Counsel.
respect to the motion to adopt the resolution offered by Board Member Scott, how do you vote, Board Member Bowen?
Yes.
Vice President Everhart?
No.
Board Member Hawkins?
No.
Board Member McKagan?
Yes, I can't talk, I'm losing my voice.
Board Member Rodriguez?
No.
Board Member Scott?
Yes.
Board Member Wright?
No.
Vice President Zulich?
No.
President Evans-Brown?
no.
By a vote of 6 to 3, the motion to adopt fails.
Thank you. I also filed a resolution which I will read at this time.
It needs 6 votes to
That's,
waive
I didn't get there.
the 48.
Can I finish? As this resolution was provided to the full board less than 48 hours in advance of this meeting, can I please have a motion to bring this resolution to the table? Board Member Rodriguez, second by Board Member Everhart. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
The resolution will be read and it will be now before the board.
We should roll call. You have to
Make
roll
sure we
call
got
the
6.
6 votes.
Mary,
Mary,
con-
roll call the 6
Robert's
votes.
Rules of Order and our
With-
policies.
With respect to the motion to bring the resolution being offered by Board President Evans-Brown to the table, how do you vote, Board Member Bowen?
Yes.
Vice President Everhart?
Yes.
Board Member Hawkins?
Yes.
Board Member McKagan?
Yes.
Board Member Rodriguez?
Yes.
Board Member Scott?
Yes.
Board Member Wright?
Right?
Yes.
Vice President Zulich,
Yes.
and President Evans Brown.
Yes.
Okay, the resolution is on the table before the board.
Okay, so Vice President Everhart will read the resolution.
Okay, resolution to readopt policy 2320, board member training and development, introduced by Kathy Evans Brown, Janita Everhart, and Adriana Zulich on January 21st, 2026. Readoption of policy 2320, board member training and development. Whereas the Board of Education recognizes that continuing in service training, development, and education are essential to effective board service. And whereas the board values participation in conferences, conventions, workshops, other professional learning opportunities that are expected to benefit the district directly or indirectly. And whereas the board has reviewed policy 2320, board approved originally in 2019, which outlines guidelines for informing board members about training opportunities, budgeting for such activities, reimbursement procedures, participation reporting, and authorization requirements. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts policy 2320, board member training and development, effective immediately with the following provisions. The board clerk will notify board members of relevant meetings, conferences, conventions, and workshops, and the board will periodically determine which are most beneficial to the district. 2, funds to support board member participation shall be budgeted annually. When funds are limited, the board president may designate participants. 3, reimbursement for registration fees, travel, meals, lodging, tuition, and related expenses shall be provided in accordance with established regulations. 4, board members who attend training events shall report back to the board with information, recommendations, and materials acquired. 5, attendance at such events requires board authorization by resolution unless authority is delegated to the board president. Any expenses claimed under delegated authority must be supported by signed travel authorization. And 6, this policy is adopted pursuant to Education Law 2118 and General Municipal Law 77B and 77C. To be readopted on this 21st day of January 2026.
So the resolution is now before the board. Any discussion?
I have a question. So, with this resolution, I know it gives the president, the power to, send a board member to a conference and stuff like that. If, the board president did not want to approve it, can a board member still, come up with the resolution presented to the board and it get approved?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's one question, and Larry was saying that it was a conference that some board members went on that other board members didn't know about. So moving forward, so not saying everybody's going to be happy. I can see it's not going to go that way here, but to try to make everybody happy as possible, or for us to all be transparent or on the same page. If there is members of this board moving forward going on conferences, is there any way that an email can be sent or an executive session or a committee meeting that we all are aware that, hey, Stefan is going here for this conference, or and let's make sure that Stefan comes back and report about the conference and tell us.
I was gonna say 4. I don't know if it's too late, but maybe even just like report back at the next board business meeting.
Right.
yeah, we used to do that regularly.
Yeah.
So that's a good point.
Just so we should all know, because we might think that it's 40,000 left, but 2 people went somewhere and now it's 10,000 gone, and we're like, oh, we want to be careful with the budget. So just so we all can be on the same page, know where the money is at when it comes to the budget, and if we are able to create a resolution, even if the board president doesn't want care for us to go or want us to go, I think that would be important.
And I think that's a good point. And I think, just being on the board since 2019, there has not been any abuse of conferences as far as I'm concerned. Board member Scott, you're next, and then followed by Rodriguez and then Bowen.
Do you want to go first?
I just wanted for everyone that was listening to clarify that in terms of the conference participation, it's in our official capacity, correct? And then when we're electing to attend a conference, just for clarity. If it's an academic interest of ours, if we're not asking for the district to compensate us, do we still have to come to the body for approval?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just in case anybody was listening and those elements
Absolutely.
weren't there. Thank you so much.
Good point.
So it appears this resolution is proposing to change the current policy. And that then falls under another policy, or bylaw 1410, which typically requires a first read and a draft to be produced, red line, and a first read to be put on the agenda, and then a second read to pass. That can be overridden, but that's what seems to be proposed here, to change the existing policy. And from reading this, it changes with funds being limited. That's where it's giving the board president the authority to designate participants. It's not giving the board president the authority if funds aren't limited. And it still says unless authority is delegated to the board president. So that would still need to be authorized or adopted to give that authority. And then I guess would need clarification on funds being limited. To me, it's the next few conferences are more than the 9,000 that we have left, and that's where then the board president has to designate who attends. We haven't reached that point yet. So the way this reads then, it still technically needs to go through the board, because it isn't clarifying when funds aren't limited what's happening.
Okay. Any
'Cause
other?
the law clearly does say resolution or delegating the authority to the president.
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, so it's confusing to me. I didn't know you had a law degree, but thank you for your comment. Well, Mr. Bowen, you have the floor.
This is just in respect to everybody in this room. I didn't think it would be this much drama over the conference, but in a district that is facing closing schools, I don't think it's appropriate for us to be going on conferences over the next couple months. Because it looks bad to the public, knowing that we just got over this hump of getting over closing schools, and now we have to cut staff in City Hall, and then board members are going on conferences. Just not a good look to the public, but that's my 2 cents.
Thank you for that. You are all new board members, and it's critical to have, training, etc. And so I think it's important that board members are approved to go on conferences. Perhaps this resolution, we can bring it back, we could table it now, and bring it back and refine the language. That's a suggestion. What's your pleasure?
I can say as a point of clarification and a point of order, if it is worded as an adoption of kind of an amendment to a policy or an adoption, it would be coming back next meeting for a second reading, and it can always be amended at that time as well. So just, offering that just from a procedural perspective.
Okay, what's your pleasure, Larry?
So, point of order, because I'm not an attorney. Alright. Attorney, general counsel, Scarpine. So if we're not passing anything, we have a policy on the books. We have to follow the policy. We still have an opportunity to follow that policy for the next conference, which I fully support. That, because I believe our next meeting is February 11th. Before that conference. And that's how we should proceed, is following the current policy? If it hasn't been changed?
Yes, I think that was the word, yes. I think it is correct, as was stated, all board members are committed in their capacity to follow board policy, so whether or not opinions can differ on whether it has been done or not, yes, it would be following the policy, if there are no revisions going forward, and then I would anticipate that this will be brought back to the table in 3 weeks we will be back here in 3 weeks on February 11th at that time.
So I'll ask Mary, I did ask Mary about that line over email, about the unless, and if we would have to vote for the board president to have power to give us the permission to go, conventions and training. And so how would that be changed? Would the whole policy have to be changed in order to delegate power to the president? Or do we vote every single time to delegate power to the president?
The way I see the policy as currently written, and we certainly can have further discussions, if it is the decision of the board to table this, just for this meeting, is that if the power is delegated to the president, it is permissible under the policy to kind of delegate it somewhat broadly to the president, but there is always the opportunity for the board to pass a resolution specifically identifying certain conferences, like on an annual basis, which I know is provided for. And so then there would be some guidance given to the board president on the conferences that the board kind of has prioritized, and then the board president is delegated with the power to select the attendee, not select sounds
Right.
selective, but
So
that's not the
this
intent.
way we wouldn't have to go before the board every single time a conference or a training
Well,
comes up.
I believe so. I mean, the way it is worded, if the board designates, like, these are the conferences, which I think the board usually is in agreement with certain conferences, and like, these conferences make sense.
Has the board ever done that before?
We
I
have,
haven't been-
I remember, we used to do it every year. Once a year, we would lay out what we would support.
No.
We
you
would
said
lay
it's
out,
just everything was put right into the budget.
right, it's in the budget, and we would lay out what we would support. For example, Hispanic breakfast on, remember, the NAACP, Black Achievers, you know, all of those things are also late, we used to vote on them, and
Right.
just once a year.
So ideally, this can be done annually, and it doesn't have to be done every single board meeting
Correct.
or every single conference. Yes.
So is there any way that we could just keep it to how it is now and then work together to either compromise or if not compromise, bring back what you put together, Dr. Brown, so it could be worded how it's supposed to be worded or whatever the case may be?
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
which would require a resolution.
So, but
For the next-
that would require a resolution for every single conference and every single training. Is that correct?
Unless we do it differently, but right now, we don't have anything.
But right now, we don't need a
We're not
resolution for
following
every
anything.
conference, do we?
No.
So can we just keep it for that now and then revisit it later, please?
Okay. Mary, you had a comment? No.
I have a comment.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I just want to say, sometimes, I guess, Eric, to your point, it's not like an extravagant trip. So one of the coolest things I got to do last year, it was like, it cost a train trip and like one night at a hotel going to Albany. And it was a conference, really to advocate for our district. So it was just 3 people from the district, a former board member and somebody from finance. And we were able to go for like this day of advocacy for BPS. So like it was a small expense, but then we got to meet with our state senators and assemblymen and kind of give them, like, hand them out, like, this is where we need more support with mental health or this or that. So I mean, it's not all fun, but I understand the optics, that we should stay within our budget, ideally.
No. All right, so, motion to table this resolution. Janita, right. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion passes. Ooh, y'all working me too hard. All right. Oh, yeah. My script. Not yet. Not yet. I gotta get the script. All right. All right, so unfinished business. Can I have a motion authorizing the district to fully settle pending litigation Morales as PNG for AR versus Board of Education? before the New York State Supreme Court with index number 804549/2024 in the amount not to exceed $75,000. Rodriguez Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Did we have one more? What was it? All right. So now bereavements.
Please stand. Bereavements for January 21st, 2026. December 29th, Robert Bobby Tate, husband of Sarah Grisby Tate, retired BPS elementary school teacher, School 8, devoted father of Robin Tate, director of special education. January 8th, Monica Clemens Fuqua, retired BPS science teacher, sister of Colette Clemens, administrative assistant, family and community engagement department. January 17th, Tiffany Lynn Casillas, daughter of Yvette Casillas, former teacher assistant and cousin to Amy Casillas, or Sorio, director of multilingual student placement. Excuse me. January 19th, Tina Benefield, a graduate of Buffalo Public Schools, school maternal niece of Dr. Kathy Evans Brown. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you.
All right. We have a motion to end the meeting. You shall have this. Hawkins, second by Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?